Everybody come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. By the way, you heard about this story, right? So that story, I couldn't even cover it on the show because it made me so sad that I knew I would cry like Jimmy Kimmel. And so I didn't cover it, but I could talk about it. Why can I talk about it today? Because, so you know what happened, right? This guy had this squirrel as a pet, and then the government's like, I guess they got time on their hands. They don't have to go help homeless people or drug addicts on the street. They go and grab a squirrel out of somebody's house that is well-trained, and they euthanize. They didn't euthanize it, because euthanization is for somebody that's sick. The squirrel was fine. They just killed it. They murdered it, right? And so what I wanted to show, and the reason why I feel good enough to tell you about the story was because the squirrel said, "Tell Kamala I want her to know it was me."
And nobody's talking about the raccoon, dude.
And because raccoons can be real motherfuckers. They'll wreck your garden, and they'll do it on purpose. Like, they'll say, "Ha ha, look, that's me," and they'll walk away.
You know, Jimmy, if only the squirrel and raccoons were immigrants, they could have gotten their own apartments.
Oh,
True, that's true.
True story, and that's coming from a Mexican. Anyway.
Es verdad.
Anyway, that made me happy for a whole afternoon when I saw that tweet. I was like, okay, good. Anyway, but you know what else makes me happy is
Jimmy, are you actually shocked that people are shocked she lost?
All I know is I thought her pronouns were never and was.
Sorry.
I'm a little shocked.
Are you?
Yeah.
I just didn't see anywhere where there was this kind of groundswell.
She's the most unpopular vice president in the modern history, and there is a reason why they did it the way they did it. It's not a conspiracy theory. Well, it is a conspiracy theory.
Well, conspire.
They did conspire to give. Why did Joe Biden have the earliest debate in the history of presidential elections? They usually wait till after the convention to do it. His team made sure they did it before because they knew he would melt down. They didn't give him the right drugs before the thing, so made sure he melted down so they can install her. They tried to install her, if you guys remember, in 2019. She was the first choice of the donor class on Martha's Vineyard. They all got together and they chose her, and then she couldn't get a goddamn vote, and Tulsi Gabbard destroyed her, and she had to drop out before Iowa, okay? And so then they went to their next most reliable dupe for Wall Street, which was Joe Biden. And then they forced her on Joe Biden. Nobody wanted Joe Biden. Nobody wanted Kamala Harris. You know who wanted them? The donor class. And it finally fucking caught up with them because the people wouldn't go along with that shit. Thank God.
You know, but the part is, like, she didn't offer any policy that was going to come and get my vote. There was nothing that the Democrats ever stand for. She was for fracking. She wasn't for fracking. You know, and as far as, like, their platform about pro-abortion, when I grew up, it was my body, my choice. And then we had COVID, and that went right out of the fucking door.
Right. And then
So they had nothing to stand for any longer.
Yeah.
Even she mandates her staff to be vaccinated. You can't do that and be my body, my choice. So she's crazy.
The thing how propagandized I was that I am shocked.
It is.
Right?
I mean, the new Tower of Babel is algorithms. Like, they have us in such different places. We can't even communicate with each other anymore. And, I'm a knuckle dragger, okay? I'm a knuckle dragger. But, I would love to have a female president. If she was qualified, I'd love to have a female president. Yeah. But they just...
What are you, Mexican?
Yeah. But they just keep force-feeding us people nobody likes.
That's right.
They did it with Hillary. Hillary, when in her power days, wouldn't let another woman get near the presidency because she wanted to be the first one. And then they knew how bad of a candidate she was. They wouldn't even have a primary for her. So they had to just install her right in.
That's right. They rigged the primary for Hillary, just like they rigged the one for her. And
well, she, in my opinion, because I'm a Jew, And I don't know if you knew that.
You never mentioned it.
Yeah, I never mentioned it. But I just want to say, before I say, it's really fun to be a Jew. It really is so much fun. And, but, because, you know, it is. But, well, she's Hamas.
You don't have to
Because
tip.
the Democrats...
The beauty of being a Jew is you save all that money on tipping. Am I right?
That's right. No, I tip big. No, I tip big. Because I was a waitress for 15 years. But wait, she's Hamas. The Democrats are Hamas.
I'm Hamas.
You're Hamas?
Yeah, I'm Hamas.
Fuck off.
It's okay. We could disagree on Hamas.
Obama brought that
She's
here.
funding Hamas. I mean, she's funding. They gave Netanyahu everything he wanted, and so that's why I don't understand. The AIPAC really runs the Democratic Party, as they do the Republican Party.
Well, they're Hamas too.
Yeah.
AIPAC is Hamas.
Fuck
They're
yeah.
Hamas.
They did fund Hamas, right? You know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
Yeah. So Netanyahu funded Hamas because he didn't want the PLO.
That's right.
Okay, so we agree on that. Look at that.
Yeah, we do. We
right.
probably agree
Tulsi
on...
Gabbard
I mean,
would be-
we agree on facts, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, you know that the Democrats have, you know, their operatives in the streets
Of course.
with their Palestinian flags. That used to be Antifa last week.
Okay, I wouldn't doubt that.
And they were, you know, BLM, except for all the black people left them. And then it was
Well,
just
my
rich
theory
white
is
kids
BLM
from
those
universities.
BLM riots were instigated by the FBI and the deep state.
She bailed them out,
And
remember?
then yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
It's all a Democrat op.
I agree.
And
And they have a Middle East op, which is, you know, they want a big Iran because they want a big China.
Yeah.
Hello?
World War III.
Okay, let me
I
just
think Tulsi Gabbard would crush it. I would love to vote for
I
her,
think
but
she
they wouldn't
would,
even
too.
I
let
would. Yeah.
they wouldn't even let her near it.
I wanted him to pick her for vice, damn it.
I did too.
Yeah, that would have been. I was okay. Anyway, but my point is this.
Did you see that he suggested it should have been you at the Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden instead of Tony?
Yes, I did see him.
That
Yes,
was fantastic,
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, I agree with. I have to agree with him. He's right when he's
Yeah,
right. Joe
yeah.
Rogan said I should have been in place of Tony Hinchcliffe, and he's fucking right. I would have crushed it. But
As a Nazi in Madison Square Garden.
I'm a Nazi, but I know people are saying that looks Photoshop because Joe Rogan doesn't have that much hair. But the point is, people say that she lost because she wouldn't do Joe Rogan's podcast. And she lost a few voters that way, and by a few I mean 20 million. Can you believe she wouldn't do Joe Rogan's
Yeah,
podcast?
she can't talk.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Like Trump goes on, no problem, 3 hours. J.D. Vance goes on 3 hours. None of those, and they would. I just can't believe that's the new. So the power is now in podcasts. The power is not in CNN and MSNBC, and that was how bullshit. Yeah,
Revolution will be podcasted. That's what happened.
revolution will not be televised, but it will be podcasted.
You know, that is really true because the legacy media was killed by Joe Rogan.
Yes.
And, you know, podcasting.
Jimmy Dore.
Oh, thank you.
And podcasters. But, I mean, that's a fucking phenomenal thing when you think about it. It really is.
It is, and that's why they want to keep. Well, we're going to talk about it later in the show, but that's why they want to keep shutting down independent media, which is podcasts. They want to. We have to regulate this. You can't just have people using the First Amendment.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're saying. Everybody on CNN, MSNBC, and New York Times, Washington Post, they all want to censor people. We have to have some kind of guardrails. Yeah, the guardrail is called the First fucking Amendment. And if you don't like it, get the fuck out of this country, okay?
That's right. Yay!
Are you familiar with the famous statement of Louis Brandeis, one of the big liberals in the Supreme Court?
What did he say?
The solution for hateful speech is more speech.
That's right. That's, not less speech, but more speech. I've said that. I didn't know who I was quoting. Thanks for letting me know, fucking brainiac. And
You know, it looks like Joe's leaning over to Kamala saying, ask your doctor if ivermectin's right for you.
I think that's Rogan watching the election returns and waiting for Kamala to tap out. Hey, Rumble Time viewers. As you know, this live show is in partnership with Rumble, a leader in free speech and creator independence. Recently, they joined X to sue, that's Twitter. Recently, they joined Twitter to sue a cartel of advertisers and ad agencies who conspired to block ad revenue from going to certain platforms. Like, it's funny that, you know, Ford, General Motors, Coca-Cola, Downey, Boeing, all of them they'll all advertise on Fox News, but somehow they've been scared away from Rumble because somehow Rumble is too right wing for them. But Rumble has Glenn Greenwald on, Rumble has me on, Rumble has Russell Brand. Rumble has now they have even shitlib Rachel, what's her name? Crystal Ball. Yeah, shitlib Crystal Ball is now on Rumble. So what they're afraid of is free speech. They want advertisers to be afraid of free speech. Who wants them to be? CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, the people we compete against, MSNBC. They want them to be afraid of places like Rumble because we provide an alternative. They did the same thing to YouTube because when there's independent news, they want to suppress it. Now YouTube does suppress it for them. Rumble doesn't. So as a way to rally around these issues, Rumble recently launched Rumble Premium. That's an ad-free viewing experience with a ton of great perks. Dive straight into your favorite content, whether on mobile, desktop, or smart TV, and savor every uninterrupted second. Upgrade to Rumble Premium today and transform your entertainment experience. Subscribe at rumble.com/premium and help support free speech. Everybody, come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.